You know, one of the most honest, unshakable truths I've come to truly understand, especially as I've gotten older, is that time doesn't wait for anyone. It keeps moving forward, no matter if you're ready or not, no matter if you're paying attention or not. When we're young, it feels like we have forever. The days seem endless, and the future feels like a distant place that's always just out of reach, waiting patiently for us to arrive. But here's something no one tells you when you're just starting out. Life speeds up when you aren't even looking. You blink, and suddenly high school is nothing but a memory. Blink again, and you're in your 30s, wondering, how did I get here so fast? You look around, and it hits you. Some of the people you were sure would be there forever aren't anymore. And then a quiet question creeps in. Did I say what I needed to say? Did I do what I really wanted to do? Or did I keep pushing it off, assuming there would be more time? We all grow up with this illusion, don't we? That someday, at some perfect point in life, we'll feel ready to take that leap, ready to change directions, ready to chase our dreams, ready to fix broken relationships, ready to forgive. But if you're waiting for that perfect, ready moment, here's the hard truth. You'll be waiting forever. Because no matter how old you are, you never really feel ready. You might think older people walk around with some deep, quiet confidence, like they've got it all figured out. Let me let you in on a secret. Most of us are still just trying to keep up. Still unsure, still wondering if we're doing this whole life thing right. And that's why time is such a tricky teacher. It moves fast, but it teaches slow. It's only when we look back that we see what we missed. The moments we were too busy to enjoy. The days wasted on anger, insecurity, or trying to be someone else's idea of who we should be. We realized that at any moment, we were always just one decision away from a completely different life, but we didn't take it because we thought, I have time. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying it to wake you up. Because the most dangerous lie we tell ourselves is the promise of later. Later, I'll call them. Later, I'll start that thing. Later, I'll slow down and enjoy life. But later isn't guaranteed. Later is a luxury, and one day, you'll run out of laters. You'll wake up and realize there's more behind you than ahead. And that's when this truth hits hardest. You don't get time back. I once sat with a man in his 90s, sharp as a tack and full of stories. He told me, you know what I wish someone had told me when I was 30? That life doesn't warn you when the best days are happening. They just come and go, and it's only later that you realize you were right in the middle of them. That stuck with me because it's so easy to miss the beauty of the now when we're too busy chasing what's next. We live like we're racing towards some finish line, but really, the moments that matter are happening right here, right now, in the middle of all the noise. So what do we do with that? What does it mean to truly live knowing time is short, precious, and never promised? It means stop waiting. Stop waiting for permission, for the perfect plan, or for someone to validate your dreams. Stop assuming the people you love will always be there. Stop postponing joy. Stop wasting your energy trying to impress others. And start investing in being present, because that's where life actually happens. You want to know what real wisdom sounds like? From someone who's lived long enough to regret and reflect. It sounds like this. I wish I had let myself be happy. I wish I had taken more risks. I wish I had spent more time with the people who truly mattered. I have never once heard someone say, I wish I worked more hours. Or, I'm glad I waited until I felt confident. So let this be your wake-up call, not a panic attack. But like a friend gently shaking your shoulder and saying, hey, don't miss this. Don't sleep through your own life. You're not too young. You're not too late. You're not too broken. You don't need to know exactly what's coming. You just need to start. Because even the longest journey begins with one very unsure, very unready step. Don't wait to feel ready. Be brave enough to begin. Just as we realized before, time waits for no one, and that means you shouldn't wait either. Right now, don't wait to say the words weighing heavy on your heart. Don't wait to forgive someone, even if you feel they don't deserve it, because sometimes their absence leaves a hole so wide it's impossible to fill. Here's the truth. It's not always about death. Life just pulls people in different directions. Old friends slowly fade away. Family members grow distant. Relationships change. And often, we get so wrapped up in our own struggles, so distracted by daily chaos, that we don't even notice the distance growing until it feels too far to cross. We rarely talk about this slow, quiet grief, the kind that comes from people still alive, but no longer really present in our lives. And then there's the guilt, creeping in when we realize we let that gap widen without trying to close it. I've heard people say to me, "I wish I had called more. I wish I hadn't let something so small create so much distance. I thought we had time." Those words stick with you. They become warning signs, if you're wise enough to listen. So, I want you to think of someone right now. Maybe it's someone you love deeply but haven't spoken to in a long time. Maybe it's someone you need to make peace with. Maybe it's just someone you miss. What's holding you back? Is it ego? Fear? The stubborn idea that they should be the one to reach out first? Let me tell you, pride is a poor companion when you're sitting alone. Filled with memories and regret, it won't keep you warm, and it won't make you feel whole. But love spoken, love expressed, that's what stays with people. That love becomes a part of their story, and yours. It's never too small to matter. And I'm not saying it's easy. Sometimes relationships are messy and complicated, and wounds run deep. But silence doesn't heal. Distance doesn't bring closure, and time doesn't always fix things. You have to be the one to pick up the phone, to send the message, to show up, even if it's awkward, even if it's messy, even if it doesn't go the way you hope. At least then, you'll know you tried. I've seen strong men cry because they never said, "I'm sorry," to their fathers before they passed. I've met grown women carrying decades of guilt for never telling their mothers how much they admired them. I've heard stories of best friends who never found their way back to each other. And all of them share the same look when they talk about it, a quiet pain. Not just for the loss, but for the silence that came before it. So don't wait for a funeral to tell someone what they meant to you. Don't let your last words to them be things you wish you could take back. Or words you never said at all. Reach out, speak up, let people know they're loved, appreciated, valued, even if it's been a long time. Even if you're not sure how they'll respond. Because one day, you won't get that chance. And you'll wish you had just one more moment to say what was on your heart. Don't wait to say the things you'll regret not saying. And here's something else you realize as you get older: no one really has it all figured out. We walk around with this illusion that maybe someone older, wiser, more experienced, holds all the answers. We think there's a moment in life when you become a grown up, and suddenly everything falls into place. But that's not how it works. No one is fully ready for the challenges life throws at them, not even the people who seem like they have it all together. When you're young, you look at adults and assume they know exactly what they're doing. They have steady jobs, homes, families. They seem like they've got it all under control. But the truth is, most of us, are just figuring it out as we go. Sure, we gain some experience, learn some lessons along the way, but no one truly knows what's coming next. We're all just doing the best we can with the cards we've been dealt. And that's okay. Here's something we don't talk about nearly enough. We spend so much time waiting to feel ready. Waiting for that magical moment when we're fully prepared to take the leap. When we've gained enough knowledge. When we're mature enough to handle whatever life throws at us. But here's the kicker: that moment never comes. You never feel 100% ready. You never feel completely prepared. And if you keep waiting for it, you'll keep putting off the things that matter most. The most successful people I know? They're not the ones who had all the answers at the start. They're the ones who took the first step, even without knowing what was ahead. They acted even when they didn't feel ready. They weren't waiting for perfect plans or perfect circumstances. They just started, and in the process, they learned, adapted, and grew. And this isn't just about careers or major life decisions, it's about everything. How many times do we hold ourselves back because we think we need all the answers first? We think we need to be perfectly equipped before we try something new. We get caught in the trap of perfectionism, believing we have to have it all figured out before we begin. But the truth is, the only way to figure it out is to jump in, to start trying. Picking up from where we left off. It's clear. Waiting to feel ready can hold you back more than you realize. I've seen so many people hold themselves back from chasing their dreams, from following their hearts, from taking risks, simply because they believed they needed more experience, more knowledge. But here's the truth. You'll never feel fully qualified. You'll never feel like you have all the answers. And guess what? That's perfectly okay. The people you look up to, the ones who seem like they have it all figured out, they didn't start out knowing everything either. They learned as they went. Just like you will. Some of the biggest lessons come from failing, from making mistakes, from not having it all mapped out right from the start. Isn't it comforting to realize that uncertainty is part of the journey? We often make the mistake of thinking those around us who appear to have their lives together are somehow more qualified, more skilled, or more capable. But when you really get to know them, you see they're just as human as you are. They've made mistakes, had doubts, questioned themselves, and felt afraid, just like you. They might not always show it, but deep down, they're still figuring things out too. And here's the important part. It's not only okay to not have everything figured out, it's completely normal. Life is a process, a messy, beautiful, unpredictable process. None of us have the luxury of a perfect map showing us exactly where to go or how to get there. We all have to carve our own path, making decisions sometimes blindly, sometimes with only half the information. But we do it anyway. Because staying stuck, waiting endlessly in life's waiting room, that's not the answer. So if you're sitting here today, waiting for the perfect moment, the right circumstances, or until you feel 100% ready, let me tell you something important. That moment is never going to come. You will always have doubts. You'll always wonder if you're doing the right thing. And that's okay. It doesn't mean you shouldn't take that step. It means you should take it anyway. There is no magical moment when everything suddenly clicks. No instant when life becomes perfectly clear and you feel on top of the world with every answer in your pocket. Life doesn't suddenly become easy. The struggle doesn't just vanish. Instead, what happens is you learn to trust yourself. You learn to take action. Even when you're unsure, you get comfortable with uncertainty. Because that's where the real growth happens. That's where the magic lies. We spend so much of our lives worrying about being perfect, about knowing all the answers, about having the perfect plan. But the most successful, the most fulfilled people I know, they're the ones who got out of their own way. They took the leap, even when they didn't know where they would land. They knew they didn't have to be perfect. And yet, they did it anyway. So stop waiting to feel ready. Start moving forward, even if you don't have all the answers. You're never going to have everything figured out, and that's perfectly fine. Just take the first step. The rest will follow. There's one realization that hits harder than any tough moment in life as you grow older. It's not the things you tried and failed at that you regret the most. It's the things you never tried. The opportunities you let slip away because you were scared, unsure, or convinced there would always be a better time. Regret has a unique sting. It's not the pain of failure itself, but the pain of never taking the leap at all. It's the haunting what ifs, the missed chances, the risks never taken, the dreams you never chased because you waited for the right moment. But here's the truth. There is no perfect moment. Time doesn't pause and wait for you to feel ready. It keeps moving forward, and before you know it, you look back and realize the moments you let slip by are the ones that hurt the most. We're so afraid of failure. We fear rejection. We fear looking foolish. We fear losing. That's normal. But the older you get, the more you understand failure isn't the end, it's just part of the process. Failure teaches resilience. It shows you what doesn't work. It pushes you to try again. What truly hurts is not failure itself. It's the regret of never trying. It's the weight of wondering what could have been, or how different life might have been if you had just taken that chance. That's a burden far heavier to carry. I've met so many people, especially those older than me, who look back on their lives. And their biggest regret isn't failure. It's that they never stepped out of their comfort zones. They never chased the dreams that burned inside them. Maybe they were afraid of the unknown. Maybe they worried about what others would think. Or maybe they convinced themselves they weren't good enough. But here's what you realize as you get older. There's nothing more painful than living with those what ifs. They haunt you like shadows, whispering in your ear, reminding you of the chances you didn't take. We spend so much of our early years thinking there will always be more time, more conversations, more chances to make things right. But here's the real kicker. Picking up from the last point, You never really know when you'll see someone for the last time. Life offers no guarantees that everything will go according to plan. Sometimes, you're left holding on to whatever was said, whether it was the truth or not, and that clarity only deepens as you grow older. Talk to people in their 80s and 90s, and you'll hear the same lesson again and again. You never really know what's possible unless you try. You never truly know what you're capable of unless you push yourself beyond the fear of failure. So many of us carry that heavy, "see you later," inside, waiting for the perfect moment to act or speak, only to realize that moment doesn't exist. We hold on to grudges far too stubbornly, refusing to forgive, fearing the risk of stepping into the unknown. But here's the truth: even failure brings progress. It hits you like a freight train how quickly life can change, and how little control we really have over it. I've watched so many people let opportunities slip by because they were too afraid to take a chance. I've seen people stuck in jobs they hated, living in places that didn't inspire them, waiting for a better moment to pursue their happiness. We take for granted the people we love, assuming they will always be there. We postpone the apologies, the "I love yous," the conversations, and then, years later, we realize we lost that chance. They don't mourn the things they said wrong, they mourn the things they never said at all. So don't wait to speak the words weighing heavily on your heart. Don't wait to forgive someone who may not seem to deserve it. We often overthink everything, analyzing every possible outcome, weighing every risk, because we're afraid of what might happen. But sometimes, life simply pulls people in different directions. Old friends drift apart, family members grow distant, relationships shift and change, and often, we're so wrapped up in our own distractions, our own struggles, that we don't notice this distance growing until it feels impossible to bridge. There's a quiet grief in losing someone who's still alive but no longer truly present, and with it comes a slow creeping guilt. The kind that weighs heavily on the heart when you realize you let that space grow without trying to close it. I've heard people say, "I wish I had called more. I wish I hadn't let something so small create such a big gap. I thought there would always be time." Those words stick with you if you're willing to listen. So, think about someone right now, maybe someone you haven't spoken to in a long time. Maybe it's someone you love deeply but have never truly told them. Maybe it's someone you need to make peace with. Maybe it's simply someone you miss. What's stopping you? Is it fear? Pride? The thought that they should be the first to reach out? Let me tell you, pride is a poor companion when you're left alone with regret. It won't keep you warm. It won't make you feel whole. But love, spoken and expressed, that stays. It becomes part of someone's story, and part of yours, and it's never too late to take that first step. It's never too late to make the call, to chase the dream, or to say the things you've been holding back. There's no perfect moment waiting for you, it will never arrive. I'm not saying it's easy. Some relationships are complicated, some wounds run deep, but silence is not healing. Distance is not closure, and time doesn't always fix things. You have to be the one to make the call, to send the message, to show up, even if it's awkward, even if it's messy, even if it doesn't turn out how you hope. At least then, you'll know you tried. You won't be haunted by the what ifs. I've seen strong men cry because they never said, "I'm sorry," to their fathers before it was too late. I've met women who carried guilt for decades because they never told their mothers how much they admired them. I've heard stories of best friends who never found their way back to each other. And all of them share the same quiet, aching look when they talk about it. Pain not just for what was lost, but for the silence that came before. We all know the old saying, "You don't know what you've got until it's gone." But hearing it, feeling it, living it, that takes on a whole new meaning when you realize it could have been different if only you had reached out. Take care of yourself. Don't let the last words you say to someone be the ones you regret. Let people know they're loved, appreciated, and valued, even if it's been a long time. Because there's only so much a heart can carry before it starts to break. When you're young, you feel invincible. You pull all-nighters, eat whatever you want, run on minimal sleep, and still feel like you're on top of the world. But one of the hardest things that usually happens when you least expect it is that your body and mind remind you that you're not limitless. No one really has infinite time or energy. We all walk around believing we do, maybe thinking, "I'll get to it later." But the truth creeps in slowly. Like a whisper you can't ignore. You don't recover as quickly as you once did. And it's then you realize what it really means to grow up. I've heard people say things like, "I wish I had taken better care of myself," or, "I wish I had listened to the advice I got when I was younger." And the truth is, no one is ever fully ready for the challenges life throws at them, not even the people who seem like they have it all together. When you're young, you look at adults and think they have everything figured out: steady jobs, houses, families. They seem like they've got their act together. But the reality is, most of us, are just figuring it out as we go. We have some experience, we learn lessons along the way, but no one knows exactly what's coming next. We're all doing the best we can with the cards we've been dealt. And here's a truth many of us ignore: there will never be a perfect time. Waiting for later often means waiting forever. Continuing from what we discussed earlier, it's clear. Waiting for the right moment to take care of yourself or make a change often means you never start at all. Don't say, "I'll start working out tomorrow," or "I'll eat better next week." We spend so much time waiting to feel ready, assuming the perfect day will come. But here's the problem: that day never comes. We keep putting it off, thinking our bodies will always be able to catch up with us later, that we'll somehow handle whatever life throws at us. But your body is smarter than you think. And here's the kicker: it remembers every bad decision you've made, every late night you stayed up, every unhealthy meal you ignored the warning signs of, every time you pushed your limits without rest. If you keep waiting to feel 100% ready, you'll keep putting off the things that matter most, including your health. Let me tell you this: the most successful people I know, the ones who seem like they had it all together, weren't born with all the answers. They didn't start out perfectly equipped, especially when it came to their health. Like everything else in life, they learned as they went. And as we get older, it hits us with more force. Once your health starts to decline, nothing else really matters. You can have all the money in the world, all the fame and success, but without your health, it doesn't mean much. None of the big life achievements will feel as meaningful if you're struggling with your body or mind. And yet, so many of us hold ourselves back because we think we need to have it all figured out first. We get caught in the trap of perfectionism, wanting to know every detail before we start. But the truth is, the only way to figure it out is to jump in and start trying. That means stopping the cycle of neglect and finally beginning to take care of yourself, getting enough sleep, moving your body regularly, making choices that nourish your health instead of draining it. It's not about a strict diet or an intense workout regime. It's about building a lifestyle you admire, one that puts your body's needs first. These little decisions, like choosing the stairs instead of the elevator or taking time to stretch, might seem insignificant in the moment, but they add up. They pay off in ways you can't imagine right now. And it's not just okay to not have everything figured out, it's normal. Life is a process. None of us has a perfect map showing exactly where to go or how to get there. We all face stress, anxiety, and sometimes depression, all of which have real physical effects on our bodies. But when we constantly push ourselves on incomplete information, ignoring our health, we're only setting ourselves up for struggle. So if you're sitting here today waiting for the perfect moment to start prioritizing your health, to take better care of yourself, let me be clear: that moment will never come perfectly. You'll always have doubts. You'll wonder if you're doing the right thing. And that's okay. It's never too late to make a change. It doesn't mean you should never start because you're not ready. It means you should start anyway. Prioritizing your health is the foundation of everything else in your life. Without it, everything else becomes harder, more complicated, and less fulfilling. There's no magic moment when everything suddenly falls into place, and you feel like you're on top of the world with all the answers about your health. What happens instead is you learn to live with uncertainty. You learn to trust yourself as you take care of your body. Even when you don't have it all figured out, one thing becomes clearer with every passing year: the magic and success in life don't come from titles, money, or accolades. They come from the relationships you build, the people who stand by you, and the health that allows you to truly enjoy those moments. Stop waiting for the perfect time to begin caring for yourself. I've heard many people say, "I wish I had taken better care of myself sooner." That regret hits harder than almost anything else. And when you look back at the end of your life, it's not the failures that weigh heaviest, it's the chances you never took, the dreams you never chased, and the health you never prioritized. The material things, the money, the status, those are just noise compared to the feeling of having someone by your side who truly cares, and the strength to live the life you want. So don't wait. Start now, because your health is the foundation of everything that matters. Picking up from the last point, the truth is, time doesn't slow down or wait for us to feel ready. It keeps moving, relentless and unforgiving, and before you know it, you glance back and realize the moments you missed don't bring lasting happiness or fulfillment. What really matters, what stays with you, are the genuine connections with the people in your life. The friends, family, partners, and even strangers who challenge you, support you, and love you unconditionally. Think about it for a moment. When you're lying on your deathbed, will you be thinking about the meetings you attended, the deals you closed, or the awards you won? Probably not. In fact, some of the most valuable lessons in life come from failure, from the setbacks and losses that teach you resilience and force you to try again. But what truly stays with us, what leaves the deepest mark, are the relationships we've built along the way. I'm willing to bet that when you look back, it's the people, not the titles, the money, or the possessions, who matter the most. It's not about having a huge number of acquaintances or followers, it's about the quality of those connections. It's about having a few people in your life who truly care, who know you deeply, and who make you feel seen and understood. Many people, especially as they grow older, realize their biggest regret isn't failing or falling short, it's not trying at all. It's not stepping out of their comfort zone to chase the dreams burning inside them. Maybe they were afraid of what others would think, or maybe they simply convinced themselves they weren't good enough. But as you grow older, you understand that there's nothing more painful than living with the what ifs. Those shadows whisper to you endlessly, what could have been? What should have been? If only you had taken that chance. It's easy to get so caught up in our busy lives, distracted by work, social media, and the endless noise, that we forget to invest in the people who matter most. We tell ourselves, there will be time later, assuming we can always make up for lost time. But here's the real truth. There's no guarantee that later will come. There's no promise that everything will go according to plan or that the people we care about will wait for us indefinitely. You'll never know what's possible unless you push past your fear and take that leap. You'll never realize what you're truly capable of unless you make the choice to jump in. Even when you're uncertain, waiting for the perfect moment, the moment when everything feels just right, means you might wait forever. That moment may never come. This is why it's so important to make time for the people who truly matter, to show up, to invest in those relationships that feed your soul. Because at the end of the day, it's the love you give and receive that leaves a lasting legacy. Even if things don't turn out the way you hoped, even if you stumble or fail along the way, those moments of connection are what make life worth living. Too many people stay stuck in jobs they hate or relationships that don't inspire them, all because they're afraid to take the risk of change. We live in a world that constantly urges us to chase the next big thing, the next opportunity, the next success, but the people who truly matter aren't interested in your resume or your list of accomplishments. They want to be with you, through all the ups and downs. Fear can be paralyzing. It makes us overthink, analyze every possible outcome, and freeze when we should be moving forward. But what's the worst that could happen if you take a chance? You might fail. You might fall short of your own expectations. But even in those moments, you'll discover something new about yourself, something that can't be learned any other way. Isn't that worth more than living a life of comfort without ever trying? Isn't it better to look back and say, I gave it my all, rather than to wonder, what if? So, show up for the people you love. Reach out to those you miss. Don't let the what ifs steal your chance to live fully and deeply. Because in the end, it's the love you shared and the relationships you nurtured that truly define the story of your life.